10. Jackrabbit. This is a character who I had nearly forgotten about until I decided to make this list, but he's just so damn awesome that I couldn't leave him off. Most of you probably don't even know what this game is, but I do remember seeing it advertised in a lot of my games and really wanting to play, but we didn't really have a PC in the day that could play games. This was back in 1994, where it was still only common to see computers in really wealthy homes. But since then, I've managed to play the game through emulation, and I gotta say, he's a worthy spot for number 10, just for awesome design alone. I've always been a fan of portraying rabbits as more badass than cutesy-whoopsy, and Jackrabbit hits all the right spots. Number 9. Bonnie Bunny. How could I make a list without including Five Nights at Freddy's Bonnie Bunny? Though she, or he, doesn't really stand out as much as Foxy or Golden Freddy, Bonnie did a great job of jump-scaring the hell out of us players. Hell, Bonnie is so scary that even the creator Scott Cawthorne has gone on record claiming that he is the scariest of the animatronics. Bonnie also has one of the creepiest of groans that he always lets off when he's in the room with you. That wheezing, human-like gasp. Let's move on. Number 8. Niccolo. I had one mana creature to choose, and I slid those Rabbites aside for one massive bunny, Niccolo, and for one reason only: Legend of Mana. While Niccolo has appeared in Sword of Mana as a salesman, Legend of Mana is the only game that I'm aware of where Frank can play as a selfish rabbit. While not always working in your favor, Niccolo is always great for a laugh, and his design is tons of fun. You can go on missions with him, defeat bosses, all while hearing him whine about money. Those Rabbites aren't looking so bad now. Number 7. Max from Sam and Max. Alright, before I start on Max, since I know most of you are already shocked that he is not number 1, I want to make one thing very clear. I did not play Sam and Max as a child. I did not have a computer capable of playing PC games, and technically, Max should not even be on this list, seeing as Sam and Max started as a comic book and not a game. But I decided to add him in anyway because, well, that's what he's best known from. Moving on from that, Max is a fun and hilarious character, the perfect archetype for the kind of rabbit I love. Violent and awesome. You just never know what this dude is going to say or do, and when he does do something, it's always worth a laugh and that's so Max. Honestly, I think more people played the game for Max than Sam, and although I didn't play these games growing up, I can honestly see what made so many people come back time and time again, and it's perhaps one of the greatest losses with the closing of LucasArts. Perhaps one day we will see these two rise again, and when it does, I will be one of the first to play it. Number 6. The Rabbits of Okami. Alright, now I know you guys are enraged by the fact that I put the Rabbits of Okami above Max, but let me explain. Okami is easily in my top 5 PS2 games of all time, and a depiction of Yumigami made it all the better. A wise and badass rabbit in the moon, his ability is not only useful, but I love the fact that the rabbit is the opposite of the wolf. And it's not just Yumigami who's beautiful in this game, even the rabbit's just running around. And then there's Inaba, or as I called him when I first played, Miles. What I love about Inaba is not only that he looks just like our dearly departed Miles, but that he's also based on the legend of a clever hare who tricks a bunch of sharks to make a bridge for him. That, along with Yumigami and the many other rabbits hanging out in the game, is why these guys make number 6. Number 5. MIPS the Rabbit. And not just him, but the rabbits in Mario 64 DS and the freakishly adorable rabbits in Mario Galaxy. As a kid, I was obsessed with the strange basement-dwelling rabbit who was named after the processor used in the N64. I would purposely not get the star he held just so I could constantly chase him. Then I would get into corners so I could mess with the camera and get close-ups. I was very pleasantly surprised when the DS version introduced tons of new rabbits to chase and even gave them a much cuter look. And even though it's not my favorite Mario game, I nearly died when I was introduced to the Star Bunnies. They're bunnies with star ears. Oh, I think I just died a little. Number 4.
This is Pepe. All systems go.
Pepe Hare. While technically a hare and not a bunny, yes, they are different, look it up, I could not pass up the chance to include the very wise and fatherly figure of Pepe Hare. Back in the N64 game, Pepe was the only one I really cared about. Falco was just an ungrateful jerk and... Slippy.
Ah! I'm hit!
Good! Stay hit! Why don't you just go and die while you're at it? Among many things, I was extremely disappointed when Pepe took a backseat in Adventures. Always full of life-saving advice and stories about my father, Pepe Hare will always live on in my heart.
Do a barrel roll!
I couldn't resist. Number 3. Robbie the Rabbit. Robbie may have been the first rabbit I ever saw portrayed in a dark or scary game. Though technically a man in a costume, Robbie is a mascot character of the Silent Hill amusement park. First appearing in Silent Hill 3, Robbie didn't actually do anything but appear as dead bodies on the ground. But at the time, I had no idea they wouldn't get up and scare the shit out of me. He can also be seen in the room and was later referenced in Silent Hill Homecoming, but let's face it, none of you ever played that fucking piece of shit.
I want Robbie.
Number 2. Legem from Rhapsody. Alright, if anyone saw my Rhapsody review, you had to know this was coming. Legem has been a favorite of mine since I first popped in Rhapsody all those years ago. He's one of the most powerful puppets in the game, as well as the cutest and saddest. He perpetually appears to be sleeping or thinking. All Legem wants in Rhapsody is to go home to the underworld, and it's only through an extra dungeon at the end of the game that you can do so. What I didn't mention in my review is that once Legem is returned home, you're given an item called the Dark Stone. This at first appears to be like one of the 5 stones Cornette has to use to make her way up to Marjolie's castle, but it's actually from a scrapped quest. I guess they just forgot to delete the event that caused the item to appear. From what I can gather, the item's quest was restored in the Japanese version of Rhapsody DS, but taken out again when brought to the US. If this is true though, no one has posted anything on YouTube or forums what the item does and if it has anything more to do with Legem. Maybe one day, if I get my hands on a Japanese copy, I'll see for myself and post an update. Legem, the kind-hearted god of darkness, proves to all of us that one can walk in the dark and still remain a kick-ass rabbit with meteor powers. And the number 1 rabbit in all of gaming is Lopunny from Pokemon. Lopunny is a Pokemon that I as a player have been waiting for years. Along with a few others, she is the one Pokemon that brought me back into the series. I was one of many first-gen Pokemon fans that felt slighted when Ruby and Sapphire were first released, and I was told I could not bring over my blue or silver Pokemon. My Blastoise is dead because of you. When Diamond released, I was in college and I was about to just brush this generation off as well, when I saw her. And then I was told there was online trading. Now Lopunny is one of my staple Pokemon, my go-to normal type in either teams or online battles, and with the release of her Mega Evolution, she's become a go-to in many meta online teams. Her new fighting type makes her a quick and hard hitter, making her both cute and badass. And it's thanks to this number 1 badass rabbit that I rediscovered my eternal love for Pokemon. And that, my friends, is my top 10 rabbits in gaming. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Well then let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming reviews.